Hey guys, Dr. Stephanie here, and today we're going to go through a full body stretch routine. And so these are just some exercises that are great if you want to warm up for the day, if you want to warm up before you do any type of exercise, or if you just want to stretch and feel better. So most of these are kind of active dynamic stretches, so they're good ones that you can do before you go for a run or a walk or a bike ride or swim. And they're also just great to do in the morning or before you go to bed. So you can just follow along with me. We'll just go through some different stretches. It won't take super long, and this is just something you can easily incorporate into your day. So we're going to start. You can stand or sit for this one. We're just going to do a neck roll. So we're just going to roll our neck in a circle, nice and slow, just really going in as big of a range of motion as you feel like you can comfortably go. Try not to make yourself dizzy, just nice and slow. Do one more here. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction. So neck roll here. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed. So you don't want any of this because that'll kind of defeat the purpose of the stretch. But just nice and slow. You can close your eyes if you want to. Just around in a circle. You may feel some creaking or cracking or popping in your neck, and that's okay. It's pretty normal. It just means, you're getting it to move in maybe directions you haven't gotten it to move lately. Okay, now we're going to do kind of a side lean stretch. And so from here, I like to have my feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. And we're going to put one hand on one hip and then just kind of lean to the side. And you want to kind of stick your hip out as you lean. Just pause for a second or two. Come back, and we're going to go to the opposite side. And then back to this side. Just leaning as far as you can comfortably. It's really getting that arm overhead. And trying not to kind of rotate. So you want to keep your body facing forward as you do this. This is a good one. You can feel it in your inner thighs as well. So this is kind of a good full body one. So inner thighs, upper body, kind of side here. Just really get a good stretch kind of on the outside of your body. Do a couple more here. And we'll go last one. All right, now we're going to go into a deep squat. So feet should be wider than shoulder width apart. You can have your toes pointed straight, or you can kind of rotate them out a little bit. If you don't have a lot of ankle mobility, you may need to rotate them out. I'm just going to squat down here. And this is a good stretch in itself, but from here, we're actually going to go up into a hamstring stretch. And you can actually grab onto your feet if you want to, or you can just hold onto the floor. But we're going to just kind of stick our butt up in the air, straighten our legs as much as we can, and then come back down into this deep squat. You can hold this for a second or two and come back into the hamstring stretch, and then come down and up into the hamstring stretch, and down, and up here, and back down. Let's do two more of these. So up into the hamstring stretch, back down, up into the hamstring stretch. Also a good spinal stretch here, and then back down. All right, then we're going to move on to our hip flexors. So what you want to do is kneel, and you're going to place one foot on the floor, one knee on the floor. You want to make sure your back is up tall if we're not leaning forward here. And we're just going to kind of lean into this hip flexor stretch, keeping that back up straight. You should feel it on the knee that's on the floor, kind of in the front of your hip there. And then come back. We're going to make this a little bit of a dynamic stretch. So lean forward, pause for just a couple seconds, come back, lean forward and pause for a couple seconds, and come back. So we're not holding this for a long time, just kind of a few seconds so we can kind of get the blood flowing. You can hold this for longer if you want to, but if you're about to do any sort of exercise, I would definitely just hold for a couple seconds so we just kind of get that blood flowing, get us ready to move. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and switch sides. So same thing, now we're stretching this side, the front of this hip here, back up straight. If you also want to make sure that you're really stretching there, you can kind of tighten your glutes before you lean forward, and that really can kind of focus the stretch here. But again, just holding a couple seconds here, making sure our trunk is not leaning forward as we do this, because then we're not really stretching that hip flexor. Just go forward here, and then back, forward, and back. Let's go ahead and do 2 more of these. If you need to hold on to something while you do this, you can do that as well. And last one. Okay, from here, we're gonna go down into a child's pose. So you're just gonna kind of sit on your heels, arms out straight here. And again, we're gonna kind of make this a dynamic stretch. So hold this for just a couple seconds, and then we're gonna go up into a cobra stretch. So just kind of like a prone press up here. Pause for a couple seconds, and then back to the child's pose. And then back to the cobra. So this is a good one for your lower back. We're kind of getting both flexion right here and then extension as we go the other direction here. And then flexion and extension. You can also hold these longer if you want to. But again, if you're doing an exercise after you do this, I would suggest just holding it for a short period of time. Go back on our heels. And then up here. Let's go through that one more time. So child's pose. And then up into the cobra pose. Okay, and then from here, we are going to go on our back. And so lie on your back, everything out straight. And from here, we're going to take one knee, grab it with the opposite hand, and kind of just bring it over to the side here. This stretch, you can hold about 3 to 5 seconds. And then you're going to come back to the middle, grab the opposite knee, and bring that to the floor. You can also leave your arm out straight here. That gets a little extra stretch. And then back to the middle and stretch to the other side. Pausing for 3 to 5 seconds. And then back to the other side. We'll do one more to each side here. And last one. Okay, then we're going to bend both our knees and feet and knees together. We're just going to do some lumbar rocks here. So we're just going to rock our knees side to side, just back and forth here. Side to side. You can also add some head turns as you do this. You can look the opposite way of the way your knees are going. Side to side, nice and slow. Okay, last time. And then we're gonna press up. And you can do this sitting or standing. Actually, I'll show you this standing. We're just gonna kind of open our chest for this one, open our shoulders. So you wanna just grab your hands behind your back, and you can interlace your fingers if you want to. And we're just gonna kind of open up, bring our shoulders back as far as we can, and come back down, back, and down, back, and back, and back. Let's do 2 more here. You can also add in looking up at the ceiling if you want to add in your neck here. All right, so you should feel good and loosened up and either ready for the day or ready for your workout or just feeling good overall.